Hi everyone. So today we are going to review our brand new budget and debt tracker. So let's get right into it. So starting at the top up here, all of this information will populate as you fill in the categories throughout the rest of the spreadsheet. So what does that mean? That means do not edit this entire section. It will update it for you. I spent my time to ensure that it does. So when you're coming in here, you're going to start off with your income because you can't make a budget if you're not getting paid. Okay? Okay. So for this example, let's just pretend that it is the end of December and we're making our budget for January. Let's only focus on the budget section right here. So we have who's getting paid and how much we're getting paid. We expect to get paid for that month. And you see it's about $6,200. And so then at the end of January, when we're doing our budget meeting, we're going to put what we actually got paid in this column right here. And so it matched up this time. Sometimes it won't. Sometimes you get paid more. Sometimes you won't. That's why you make a budget and then you have a budget meeting to make sure your budget was on point. Okay? Okay. So, a little bit more about what not to touch and what will get automatically updated is these columns right here, year-to-date total and the monthly averages. So this will add up your totals and your averages as you put more information throughout the year. And so will the last row of each category as well. So all of this will automatically update. So moving forward, let me scroll down. We will input all of our bills and utilities. I wanted it to be as simple as possible. And what's more simple than put your bills and utilities in this section? So that includes your rent, your HOA if you have it, your electricity, your water and trash, your sewer, your auto insurance, phone, all of that good stuff. If you get a bill statement, that means that it is a bill. So you put that in here. If you have kids, you put your daycare, all of that in this section. And so just like our income, we're going to budget for what we have been billed or what we think we will be billed for that month. And then once the end of the month comes, we will say if that is what we spent or not. So you see here, like instead of $110, it was $109 and blah, 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 blah. And so that is what these monthly columns are for you to say what you actually spent that month. Moving forward. So now we have variable expenses. What are variable expenses? It's just everything else that didn't fit into the bills and utilities. So that's your groceries, home expenses, gas, leisure, allowance, commute, whatever you have control over. Yes, you do have control over your groceries. You do not have to spend $1,000 if you're only one person. Like, that's just crazy sauce. Like, you need to go to the Dollar Tree. But we're not going to talk about that now. So we will always put what we plan to spend for that month, and then, like in all of the other sections, we'll come back through and put what we actually spent. Easy peasy. And then if this is your first time budgeting, you will start to see what you average. And so that can help you adjust your budget going forward. And you're only going to get better. Don't let it discourage you if you don't get it right or if something happens. Like, it's okay. Like, we're all learning. Like, DJ and I are still updating our budget till this day. Like, you can't see the future. If you can, please let me know because I would love to play the lottery. All right, next section. Savings. So if you are a Dave Ramsey follower, then you know you must have $1,000 saved in your emergency fund before you start destroying your debt if you have debt. If you don't, then fill up this section. But if you do, put the bare minimum, which I would say is $1,000, but put enough that allows you to focus on destroying your debt in the most simple and peaceful way possible. And so you can type emergency fund here and what you plan to save each month. And then you will see in the next section, you will start to have money left over if you do a good job at budgeting or increase your income or decrease your expenses. And so then you can add more to it. But put like the bare minimum, hey, I want to try and save $100 for my emergency fund if this is the first time you are getting to budgeting and you don't have anything saved yet. So my favorite section is the debt section, and I had like 5 editions of this section, so you better use it and you better love it. Okay? Self-explanatory. First, you're going to put in who you owe. Macy's, for example. It is a credit card. You're going to put your interest rate, your payment date, and the initial balance. And this is for the year. And so if we were to be starting in January, we would put, hey, currently on my statement, it says that my current balance is $600. And you're going to just start on with it. For this section, you're going to put your minimum payment. You see that it is in that green category. That is not green, you guys. That is orange. So you're going to put your minimum payment in this column, and it is factored into your expenses that registers at the top of the spreadsheet. So put your minimum payment in here, and it's sure that if you don't do anything else during the month, that you at least pay that payment. And then when we come back in, this is a little tricky part. So we're going to say, hey, we paid all of our minimum payments. That is the first step. Then you see this nice, beautiful number appear. It says, hey, you had this much left over to add to your debt or your emergency fund. So if you've already funded your emergency fund, that means you have all of this left over to put onto your debt. And so I'm going to show you an example here. So I'm not doing any math. Make sure you do math. So if the current balance on my debt is $600, and I just want to pay that off because I have $1,100 left over because that's what my little thing says. You see now it says 586. And so we're going to put 0. It gives you a beautiful green 0. And we're going to go to the next. We still have money left over. So let's just pretend that Danielle is going to count right now. And let's just say we have $600. So we're going to put the $600 here as well. Damn it. $609.84. So we're going to put that in here. We get down to 0. And now let's just say we have $200 left on our debt. And then we'll go through the rest and say what the current balance is now. And so it's not that accurate. You can't really tell what your current balance is until after they factor in the payment that you made for that month as well as the interest that occurs every freaking day. But just give an estimate. You can like subtract or whatever you feel in your heart. Do that and then put that in the current balance section. And so that's about it, you guys. I wanted it to be as short as possible, and I hope this helps you. And so every month you will come in here, and I'm gonna scroll back up. Hold your eyes. And so every month you're gonna come back in here. You can adjust your budget as you see fit. Make sure you do it after you put in whatever you spent for that month, and then you're just gonna keep doing it. And then voila, it's going to look like all of these numbers, and you're going to see how you did. You're going to see what your averages were for that section, what you can work on, how you did, all of that good stuff. And so I hope this helps you, and I wish you nothing but success on your financial journey, and let me know if you have any questions.